By the time the money hit her account, Amina already knew it didn't belong to her. She just didn't know how to give it back without losing everything she had just begun to build. The evening sun stretched long shadows across the glass buildings of Westbridge University, a private campus tucked into the restless heart of Nairobi. The day had been bright, too bright for someone who had spent most of it trying not to be noticed. Now, as the light softened, the city grew louder. Matatus choked the roads, their conductors shouting destinations over overlapping music. Street vendors lined the pavements, roasted maize, samosas, boiled eggs dusted with chili. Students streamed out of lecture halls in clusters, laughter bouncing between them, mixing with the distant hum of traffic. Amina stood just outside the campus gate, her phone still in her hand. The message hadn't changed. 48,000 Kenyan shillings received. Behind her, someone called out her name. Amina turned slowly. She was 21, still new enough to the city to walk carefully, like the ground might shift if she stepped too confidently. Back home in Nyeri, people knew her as the girl who studied under a kerosene lamp and spoke only when she had something worth saying. Here, she was just quiet. Her desire was simple, almost fragile, to survive the city without becoming someone she wouldn't recognize. But the city had already started asking for more. Her uncle, who paid part of her fees, reminded her often, "This Nairobi is not a joke. Be sharp." Her mother, on the phone every Sunday, asked only one thing: "Don't forget yourself." And yet, every day at Westbridge, Amina felt like herself was exactly what needed adjusting. She had learned to laugh at jokes she didn't find funny, to speak faster, to hide her accent, to belong. "Why are you standing like you've seen a ghost?" It was Zuri, effortless, sharp, always slightly ahead of everyone else. The kind of person who seemed born knowing how things worked. Amina hesitated, then tilted her phone slightly. Zuri glanced at the screen, then looked back at her, expression unreadable. "Oh, it's yours now," she said. Amina frowned. "What do you mean?" Zuri shrugged, already turning to walk. "You said you needed money, now you have it." "That's not—" "I didn't apply for anything." Amina followed her, heart tightening. Zuri stopped. For a moment, the noise of the street seemed to fade behind them. "You did, just—" "Not directly," she said. "It's not really about need, it's about who submits your name," Zuri continued. Amina felt something settle uncomfortably in her chest. "My name?" she asked. Zuri didn't answer immediately. Instead, she pulled out her own phone, scrolling through messages. "Look," she said, turning the screen. Amina saw her own details, name, registration number, copied into a message thread she didn't recognize. Below it, a simple reply, approved. Her throat went dry. "Why would you—" "Because you needed it," Zuri cut in, sharper now. "Or were you planning to drop out next semester?" "That's not the point." "Then what is?" Amina stopped walking. People brushed past them, some glancing, most not caring. "I didn't ask for this," she said, her voice low. Zuri laughed, short, almost tired. "You don't ask in this city, Amina. You take what's available. And if it's not meant for me?" Zuri's expression shifted just slightly. "Then someone else loses, but that's already happening everywhere," she said. They reached the hostel gate just as night settled in. Security lights flickered on. Conversations softened. The city didn't sleep, but it changed tone. Amina stood still. Her phone buzzed again, her mother calling. She didn't pick up. Instead, she stared at the balance on her screen. 48,000 shillings. Rent, food, books, relief. Zuri leaned against the wall beside her. "You think too much," she said quietly. This is how things work. You either adjust or you go back home. Amina swallowed. Back home. The word felt heavier now, not because it was bad, but because it was becoming distant. What if I don't want to adjust like this? She asked. Zuri didn't look at her this time. Then you'll learn the hard way. Everyone does, she said, silence stretched between them. Somewhere nearby, a group of students burst into laughter. A matatu revved loudly on the main road. A dog barked in the distance. Life continued, unbothered. Amina exhaled slowly. Then, without another word, she opened her phone. Her fingers hovered. For a long moment, she didn't move. Then she began to type. Later that night, long after Zuri had gone inside, Amina sat alone on the low concrete wall outside the hostel. The city lights blinked in the distance, steady and indifferent. Her phone lay beside her, screen dark now. The money was still there. So was the message she had sent. No reply yet. She wrapped her arms around herself, not from cold, but from something quieter, harder to name. Inside the hostel, voices rose and fell. Music played softly from someone's room. Normal life. As if nothing had shifted. But Amina knew something had, not in the world, in her. She looked up at the night sky, barely visible through the city's glow. For the first time since arriving in Nairobi, she understood something she hadn't been able to put into words before. Belonging wasn't something the city gave you. It was something it quietly negotiated away, and sometimes the price wasn't obvious until you had already paid it.